What is up, motivators? Welcome back. It's Kevin. This is Pure Bullfit. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today, but before we get into any of that, I want to acknowledge that today is Memorial Day here in the United States. This is a day that we've set aside in order to remember those who gave their last full measure of devotion in service to their country, their life. While any day, I suppose, is a good day to say thank you for your service to a veteran, today is not that day. A bunch of folks are going to be outside enjoying a day off from work and barbecues and sales for Memorial Day, and all of that is fine. But we should take a moment to remember that for the friends and families of those who were lost, this is a solemn day. To you, to those friends and families, I say, I am so sorry for your loss, and I am so grateful for your sacrifice. Happy Memorial Day. I also want to take a quick moment to thank the hundreds of people that reached out after my semicolon video and reinforced that it was the right thing to do. I was very unsure if I was going to publish that video, but I can see now in retrospect it was the right thing. I appreciate all of your comments and you sharing your own personal experiences. I appreciate the trust of several of you who reached out to me in DMs and you shared your really painful experiences, believing that I would be receptive and supportive, and I hope that you left those conversations feeling that that was true. I am exceptionally grateful for the reception of that video, and it got me thinking that I'm not the only person who wants to talk about these things in this sphere. In fitness YouTube, there is another guy, at least one, that talks about depression and mental struggles and how that affects your physical health and other aspects of your life really openly, and that guy is Silent Mike. Silent Mike is my boy, and if you don't know who he is, you're probably new around here. He is one of the original, one of the OG of fitness YouTube. He's been here since the early Candido HQ days, before Alan Thrall, I believe, another guy that I respect. Bart Kwan, Omar Isuf, those guys run Kaizen training together. He got his start on super training with Mark Smelly Bell. Like, he's been around a long time. And especially over the pandemic, what you see is him talking more and more about his own struggles with depression and how that's affected his training and what he's done to overcome that. I mean, in that time, experiencing intense depression, this guy opened Third Street Barbell, an awesome gym out of the old super training building. He started an apparel line, Good Company, which I am wearing right now and I absolutely love. He's accomplished a lot despite the challenges that he's facing, and he talks about them openly. He's one of the people that encouraged me and made me feel like I could talk about it openly and help people. So if you like my content, go check out Silent Mike, because quite honestly, he does what I do better. Now, if you like what he has to say, you like his content, one of the best ways to support him is to actually buy his apparel. Like I'm wearing right now, I absolutely love this. This and Rascal Apparel, my absolute two favorite apparel companies. I love them. They're classy, they're clean, they're well made. They're the best fitness gear that you can wear out there, no cap. No cap. That's better. Now, don't get it twisted. I don't have like a deal. I'm not an affiliate. I don't have a code. I don't have a discount. I wasn't asked to do this. The same as always, I see people that I think are worth supporting, so I call them out and I say, hey, go support these folks. Bare minimum, go check out their channels because they put out non-problematic, good information, often in an entertaining way, especially Mike. He's funny as hell. Omar has got this great thing with a history channel going on right now, so go follow him and follow that, talking about like ancient peoples and their exercise routines and how we could possibly incorporate lessons from that into our everyday life. There's really good info out there, so if you like what I do, go check out what they do. Now, one of the big things that we've got coming up is I want to talk more about mental health, but I don't think that talking at a camera is necessarily the best way to do that. I don't get out much, so I've got to find a happy compromise. Years ago, I talked about going on to Twitch and doing a pure fix-it thing where I take a video and I review it and I take it apart and I give you the missing context, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm thinking that could also be an amazing platform to have real-time conversations with people about these things that matter, because it is absolutely a fact that our mental self and our physical self overlap, and that the lessons we learn in iron about discipline and achieving small goals and being consistent and being resilient can be transferred over into becoming more mentally resilient and dealing with those things. I made a video on it a long time ago. Now, being the goal-oriented person I am, I have to set a goal in order to pursue this, in order to find value in it, in order to chase it consistently. So since I'll just be starting out, I'm not affiliated or a partner or anything like that, that'll be my first goal, to get an affiliation. And in order to motivate myself and you guys to help me do that, because I cannot do it alone, no matter how hard I work, I cannot do it without you, the audience, I'm going to go ahead and put up this first little challenge. The very next stream after I make affiliate, I'm going to do a Q&A eating this chip. I will eat this chip, this death chip, without drinking water, without drinking milk or anything else, and see how long I last answering your questions. It might be a very short stream, but we're going to build up to that. I've got a lot to learn about the platform and things like that, but I really want to have those authentic live conversations. I really want to connect with people on those topics. So that's what we'll be doing moving forward. Yeah, sure, we'll do Pure Fix It. And I am really looking forward to connecting with you guys in an additional, more effective way, more personal way. So look out for that. We're going to be starting next week, probably Monday. I will announce that in YouTube, on the Facebook page, on Instagram, the whole 9 yards and what have you. So the next topic is a reminder. I know not everybody who's seeing the videos now was seeing the ones that I originally came back with about a month and a half ago, but I put out a 40-page, absolutely no strings, free starter guide to getting back into fitness or getting into fitness for the first time. And there's no signups, there's no emails, there's no nothing. It is a document in a Google Drive that has like 4 or 5 programs, free, strategies for having a better relationship with food, how to go ahead to choose your goal, how to initiate a new routine for the first time to mitigate DOMs and maximize your results. All of that is there for you for free. Now, why would a guy who sells programs and consultations do that? Because I actually give a shit about you. I know a lot of folks talk about that, but since the beginning of this community, I have had free programs. I just put them in a more organized space and I added information that's going to be useful to you. So that's free. Go to the website, purebullfit.com. Up in the corner, it says PBF Starter Guide. Click on it. It takes you to a OneDrive. There's nothing for you to sign up for. And if you want to disseminate it to your friends, you want to take all the credit for disseminating it to your friends, I don't care. You're just going to have to explain why my face is the watermark. And the last thing I want to talk about is blind squirrels and broken clocks, because a broken clock is right twice a day, and even a blind squirrel eventually finds a nut. This is in regard to certain disingenuous and duplicitous questions and issues being raised by a certain plant-based commentary channel about my turkesterone video. I mentioned it briefly in the last video, but I want to point out, hey, even when it's a generally bad source, sometimes good questions come out of it. And one of the questions raised that I actually respected was, why would I buy this thing? Why would I spend my hard-earned money on something I didn't think worked? It's a review series. I cleverly hid my true purpose in the title. If you carefully look, it says Pure Reviews. And I announced my intention to start doing things like that like a year ago. I just had life happen and took a year off from making content. But I know it was a labyrinth of a conspiracy to follow my train of thought there. But I said I was going to do reviews, started doing reviews, and I cleverly hid my true intentions in the title by calling it Pure Review. But the reason that I do those is because I answer questions from my community. And it does, eventually, if it takes off, if it's useful, if a video is interesting, it can benefit me and I might recoup what I spent. I did recoup what I spent, for instance, on the anabolic cookbook like a year and a half ago that I bought from Greg Doucette. I bought all of these different pre-workouts, even though I'm not really a pre-workout kind of guy. I don't often use them, but I wanted to sample a few so that I could talk about it knowledgeably and I could share my experience with them and let folks know, do you really need to be spending $30, $40, $50 a month on something that you're taking every day? Is it really going to make that big a difference? I bought this collagen peptides. Because we talk about health and wellness here. And I wanted to know, I wanted to answer questions based off of not whether or not this is a good protein source for anabolic protein synthesis, but the other health benefits that are related to it, such as better skin and things like that. And better skin is something that is kind of important to me. I am 43 years old. Folks are generally surprised when they learn my age. Well, there's a reason for that. I take care of my skin suit. And you should too. So the reason that I would spend hard-earned money on something that I don't necessarily believe in or don't know if it works or don't believe that it works is to review it fairly and knowledgeably. Now, some things I have a bias for and I have to acknowledge that at the outset. I try to be good about that, and that's not a step I see other people taking very often. But the purpose is to create useful content, the actionable information that I talk about at the beginning of my videos, providing people with actionable information to live a better, longer life. Now, I understand that's not going to be a good enough answer for everybody, but I say this from the deepest cockles of my heart. That's not my problem to fix. I don't care if you believe me. I make this content for my community. This is a voluntary place to be. You can either be here and listen to what I have to say, consider it, evaluate it, and see if you want to incorporate it into your own life. No pressure from me. or you can dismiss it out of hand. And your reasons for doing so might be good, or they might be total nonsense. That's a you problem. All right, quick checklist. We called out folks who do what we do here in this community, but do it better and have been doing it for longer as additional resources for you. We talked about the starter guide. We talked about Pure Reviews, why we do what we do, and why we're going to continue doing what we do. And I called out Twitch. We're going to be storming Twitch soon. And if you want to see me suffer like no other, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need you guys to show up. So I look forward to seeing you there. All right, guys, that's it. That's the video. If you liked it, they got a button for that. If you didn't like it, they got a button for that too. I realize this is not my normal content. This is kind of more like just my random thoughts and a few announcements. But either way, tell me all about it in the comment section below. And until I see you guys in the next video, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other and go fit yourself.